The millionaire's pen hovered above the contract 15 accountants had already failed him, whispering that everything was fine. Then a trembling delivery girl burst through the door, her uniform damp from the rain. Her voice, steady but urgent, cut through the silence. "Don't sign this." In that moment, every head turned, and the truth began to unravel. Before we start today's story, leave a comment below and let us know which city you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate it from 0 to 10. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. The pen lingered just inches above the page. A single stroke would seal the deal. Millions transferred, an empire reshaped forever. Around the oak table sat 15 accountants, each one polished, rehearsed, and certain they had combed through the papers, nodded at the clauses, and whispered their approval. Their silence was heavy with complicity. But then, the door creaked open. She stood there small, drenched from the storm outside, clutching a paper bag that smelled faintly of fresh bread. A delivery girl, invisible to everyone until she spoke. Her voice was quiet, yet carried a weight that silenced the room. "Don't sign this," she said, her eyes fixed on the millionaire's weary hand. At first, the room chuckled. What did a delivery girl know of contracts, clauses, and fortunes? But the millionaire did not laugh. His hand froze. Something in her voice, entrained, unpolished, but undeniably certain, pulled him back from the edge. She had no place at that table. And yet, in that instant, she belonged more than any of the 15 who had failed him. She was no stranger to being dismissed. Her shoes, worn thin from miles of walking, carried the dust of 1,000 doorsteps. Her hands bore the calluses of labor no one ever thanked her for. Each delivery was survival, not ambition. Yet behind her quiet eyes lived a storm. Years earlier, she had been a student of numbers, not parcels. Late nights buried in textbooks, dreams stitched together with ink and hope. But poverty had a cruel way of interrupting dreams. Her father's illness, the debts piling like bricks, and the day she folded her acceptance letter into a box she would never open again. Still, she had not forgotten what she learned. She remembered the smell of ink-stained paper, the thrill of cracking open a problem others thought impossible. And as fate would have it, she carried more than bread that night. She carried a memory of numbers sharp enough to slice through deceit. The 15 accountants shifted uncomfortably. Each had been paid handsomely, yet each had chosen silence over integrity. They represented a system built on hierarchy, where truth was a currency too costly to spend. Their eyes avoided hers, their dignity already traded away. But she did not flinch. She laid the receipt bag on the table, her trembling hand pointing to the contract. "This figure," she whispered, "isn't balance. It's bait." No one moved. The only sound was the faint tapping of rain against the glass. The millionaire leaned closer, his sharp eyes scanning where she had pointed. And there it was. A subtle shift in digits, buried deep within pages of complexity. A mistake or a trap designed to steal more than money. It was his legacy at stake. Asterisk, asterisk. The millionaire slowly set the pen down. His silence was not weakness, it was thunder waiting to break. He looked at the accountants, one by one, and the weight of their betrayal was clear. Their polished suits could not hide the truth that a drenched, exhausted delivery girl had seen what they refused to see. "You protected yourselves," he finally said, voice low but firm. "She protected me." The delivery girl lowered her eyes, almost embarrassed by her own courage. But in that room, her silence was louder than applause. Asterisk, asterisk. The millionaire rose, his voice steady. "Honor does not come from titles. It comes from truth, spoken when silence is easier." And the girl, though trembling, answered quietly, "Respect is not earned by wealth. It is earned by the courage to do what others will not." The words hung in the air, sharp as glass, unforgettable. Asterisk, asterisk. The contract was torn in two. The accountants shuffled out, heads bowed, their silence now shameful. But the girl remained, unsure of whether to stay or go. The millionaire approached her, not with grandeur, but with gratitude. He pressed the torn pages into her hands, saying, "Only you saved more than money tonight. You saved me from betrayal." Outside, the storm began to ease. People in the lobby, who had watched in silence, now stood as she walked past them, not with applause, not with cheers, but with quiet, respectful nods, the kind reserved for those whose courage speaks louder than words. Asterisk, asterisk. Silent heroes do not always wear uniforms or carry medals. Sometimes they carry bread in a paper bag, soaked by rain. Their battles are unseen, their victories unrecorded yet. They remind us that truth has no rank. Where are you watching from today? Share your thoughts on this story in the comments. And if this tale moved you, subscribe for more stories that honor the strength of silent courage, the dignity of truth, and the power of ordinary people who choose integrity when the world looks away.